Each week, Stevens Creek Toyota brings us stories of athletes who have overcome adversity in their lives to succeed in school and in sports.
Marissa, sports is all about teams competing against each other to win a game. But there are times when events outside the game bring opposing teams together. When Bellarmine's head baseball coach learned his daughter had leukemia, how his opponents came together was amazing.
I'm glad to be back out. Okay, it's good to see you guys. Live in the moment, play in the moment, go have some fun.
With a 3-year-old and newborn at home, coaching baseball this season at Bellarmine was always going to be a challenge. But this past November, Mike Rodriguez and his wife noticed something was wrong with 3-year-old Sofia.
You know, my wife went in and said, you know, something's just not right. I'd feel better if we called the pediatrician. We went into the pediatrician and luckily his first reaction was, well, a mother's intuition is usually right. Let's get a blood work done. So he ordered a blood work. We go in, we get her blood drawn. A couple hours later, he said, we get a phone call and saying, you know, I think you should go up to Stanford.
It was a phone call every parent dreads, knowing your little 3-year-old is very sick. You're about to find out just how sick.
I don't want to break down, but that phone call is hard, you know, because you know something's wrong. And, you know, so we didn't want to go to that place right away mentally, but, you know, it's hard not to.
So off the family went to Lucille Packard Children's Hospital at Stanford for extensive tests.
3 days later that they came in and they told us that it was B-cell ALL leukemia. Very treatable. It's one of the most common that they treat here at Stanford. They have a very high success rate. It's very common in girls in that age range. You know, and so then they mapped out kind of the plan of attack.
The news is good. Sofia will get better. Still, she will go through 2.5 years of treatments, and there is more.
And then she'll move into an appointment or a checkup every 6 months for a couple of years, and then after that, it's once a year for the rest of her life that she'll need to go in for checkups.
Then news of Sofia's illness spreads quickly through the baseball community. The team has special hats made showing support for Sofia and for their coach. But there is support outside of Bellarmine. At rival St. Francis, the team gets together and decides to donate proceeds from their fall clinic to the Rodriguez family.
You know, I just feel like the baseball community is a really small community, and I think when things like this happen, you generally pull together and do what they can to help each other out. And obviously, I know Mike really well. We just kind of felt like, you know what, we need to step up. We need to do something to help him out. I know that it's not a lot, and they're going through a ton, you know, with the treatments for Sofia. But I just felt like it was something we needed to do, and just at least show that we're obviously behind them and trying to help them out in any way we can.
The Lancers donated $4,000 to help, but it didn't stop there.
Guys that even I just have a brief interaction with, or you know, I've met once or twice, you know, they've reached out, sent an email or called, and you know, I think this is something that, you know, when it's a person, you know, you're talking about people, you really see the good side of society.
So now Mike fits baseball around Sofia's treatments. Mike and his wife also have a newborn son who needs lots of care. The entire Bellarmine community appreciates the support they're getting from other teams.
That's absolutely amazing. Obviously, we're rivals on the field, but off the field, those guys are just as good as us, and we're all friends. And so we know that that's a huge part of being part of the family, the West Cal family, that everyone's rallying against each other. We might be rivals on the field, but off the field, we all want to be family and friends.
The Bells are playing well, and Sofia is doing well. The 3-year-old has a long battle ahead, but doctors are confident this little girl will beat the cancer.
1, 2, 3, Sofia strong!
So Mike coaches when he can. The rest of the coaches doing a great job filling in. As for Sofia, she's expected to recover fully. It's amazing what they can do with leukemia these days. So it's an exciting future, but she's got to get through these 2.5 years, which will be tough.
Yes, which will be tough, but a bright future.
Yeah.
All right.